Anxiety is something that has been rising more and more in recent years, and people in the past didn't really suffer much from it as we do. Circumstances and situations were much worse and harder to deal with. People needed to think about surviving every day. And now we have so many different possessions that we are afraid of losing. So much more safety and security that gives us so much more freedom to choose and do whatever we want. We can basically do anything in our lives. And so many people in the modern age suffer from anxiety, especially younger people who don't have enough experience yet when it comes to dealing with life and with people. And they are really pressured by the people around them, by their parents, by their friends, and they feel like they have no time to make decisions and decide what they want to do in their lives. So anxiety is really the curse of our generation and the future generations. And the rise of social media and easy access to news, especially the negative ones, doesn't really help with that. I have always suffered from anxiety in its different shapes and forms since I can remember, and it has always stood in my way from making important decisions and experiencing new things and making new friends. I have always been a passive person who would just lay in bed, watch Twitch streams and watch movies, waste my time doing things that are not helping me in any way. And the only situations where I made important decisions and took action was when I had no other options, when it was my only option and I was just stressed and pressured to make a decision. I have always fell in the same traps where I get a new opportunity that I feel like it can change my life and that it is something that I want to take and do something about it, and then my anxiety comes and I start thinking about all the bad things that could happen if I make a decision. So I end up not making any decision and become passive and just do nothing. And then I start dwelling on that and feeling guilty that I didn't do anything. And then I suffer from this guilt and this self-talk, this negative self-talk. And the situation happens again and again. It was an endless cycle that kept getting worse and worse every time I get a new opportunity. About 2 years ago, I just had enough from the way I was living and I decided to do something about it. And that's where I started my self-improvement journey. And since then, I developed many different methods that would help me combat my anxiety. I understand myself more and gain more self-confidence and self-awareness. And these methods included things like cold showers, abstaining from pornography and masturbation, reading self-help books, meditation, and also taking psychedelics to explore my mind. And I have changed and learned so much from all the good and positive things that I adopted in my life in the last 2 years. And when it comes to anxiety, they all really led to the same conclusion. Anxiety is not something that you can completely get rid of. It is not something that you can remove from your brain and never have any anxious thoughts. You will still have anxious thoughts, but you learn how to live with them. You start to see them from a different perspective, in a different way, and you don't let them control and dictate your life. Anxiety is basically thoughts that are connected to fears of things that might happen in the future. Our thoughts are not things that are under our control. They come to us randomly and naturally, depending on where we are, the things that we're doing, and the people we hang out with. And they are also related to our genetics and our upbringing, what we were taught as children. And you can't really choose which thoughts will come to you in the next moment. They will just come by themselves. And so what happens is that anxious people, when they get anxious thoughts, they start to obsess over them and take them so seriously, and they start to feel that these anxious thoughts will happen all of the time, which is not true at all. No matter what the situation is and how bad you think things are going to happen, reality is different most of the time. And it is really hard for anxious people to detach themselves from these thoughts which they perceive as reality. On the opposite side, confident people who have the lead in their lives, who always take action and are doing so many productive things, they have these anxious thoughts as well, but they don't perceive them as reality. They don't let them control their lives, and they observe these thoughts and push them to the side and do the thing that they wanted to do anyway, no matter what they are thinking about. And this is really the only difference between anxious people and confident people. In my opinion, it only comes to that. How do you deal with these anxious thoughts? Because you can't escape them. There is no way out. You just learn to accept them. It is like when you have pain in your body, maybe a chronic pain that you can't get rid of. In the beginning, it is very painful for you and it makes you suffer so much. But with time, you start to learn that it is something that you will always have, and you adapt to that pain and it becomes less painful. And it is not that the pain itself got reduced, you just got used to it and it doesn't hurt as much. And it's really the same with anxiety and many other mental issues that we face in the modern age. So it is really okay to have anxiety and negative thoughts. We are humans, we can't be positive and confident all of the times. We will fall sometimes, and that's absolutely fine. We just need to learn from our falls and try to gain more self-awareness and understand ourselves more, and try our best to do good things for us, things that will help us push forward and reach our goals. I still suffer from anxiety, I still feel it every day, but I gotta say, since I changed how I view it, I have become so much more confident, and I have changed my life so much lately that when I look back, I just can't imagine anymore how different I was when I was dealing with my anxiety, how it used to really control me and dictate everything I was doing. It was holding me back so much from reaching the things that I wanted to have, the life that I wanted to be in. We just have to always remember that we are not our thoughts, that our thoughts are just part of our experience. They are things that we are experiencing all the time, just like everything else around us.